Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you for joining me for the Gemini March 2024 horoscope. There's a lot of things happening this month. If you've seen the overview video, you understand that. So I'm going to draw two tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you to see extra, if there's any extra clarification. There usually is. Let's go to the board now. There's your horoscope. But firstly, these cards. Closing my eyes now. What do I see for Gemini? I like to have a little vision. There's a key going into the door. This is an opportunity for you that you may have had the capability to do for a little while, but you actually haven't gotten around to doing it. So there's some sort of project or new life direction that you could take if you choose. The card, I'm going to take that one on top, I think. The card that comes out is the Tower card. This is very significant. It's a major arcana card. Don't freak out, because if you've been paying attention to what's on the cards, the eye in the sky sees all. That's your third eye. Even if you don't think you have any psychic ability, we all have some natural inclinations in knowing what might be likely to occur. This is a structure that you've built up in your mind, and it's something that you thought you could count on, but it's actually being built on shifting sands. So there's some sort of upset or some sort of tearing down of your belief systems or structures that you've built. The king has lost his crown. The crown has toppled off. Let's get more information about that and see what that actually means. First half of the month, and let's have a look now at the second half of the month to see what comes out of that. Don't freak out about it, because I think most people are probably going to have some awareness already. Oh, well, this is very interesting. There's a medal here. It's like you come first in a race. Maybe this is a falling out of a friendship or somebody that you've known where you've been feeling like you haven't been coming first. Interestingly, the medal, like it's got a red ribbon around your neck, the medal keeps changing from first to second, from gold to silver. So it's like first to second, gold to silver, and back and forth like that. So you have to decide, do you come first or do you come second in this relationship? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what card we get. It probably is a relationship, the Two of Cups. This is implying that you're coming to terms with a situation in a relationship which is ultimately healing for you. You can see the snake here. Of course, when we see snakes, it still gives me a fright, even though I've seen many hundreds of snakes in my life. I've probably got many hundreds here where I live, and we just have to make allowances and work around them. And so don't go picking up wild snakes is my number one advice, and keep your animals away from them. It's very hard to do sometimes, but ultimately it can be healing. It can be a healing that resolves a situation. So you may go through something that probably isn't that pleasant, just to be brutally honest with you, but it has a positive outcome, and that is that a healing takes place so that you integrate that energy, whatever that person is connected with, whatever energy they're connected with, you integrate that energy into your own personality. This is a good thing. There's a lot more happening, so I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so you can see, but we'll get more information as we go along as well. So looking at your horoscope, we've got two triangles here, a T-square on the first of the month and a talent triangle. The T-square involves Uranus, Venus and the moon. With Venus, it's likely to be a relationship. Not always, sometimes it's money, but it's looking by the cards and my visions, it's looking like this is a relationship based type of energy where there's some sort of challenge. The good news is that a T-square, although challenging, is workable. You can actually get a good result out of a T-square. So I don't want you to freak out on the basis of this Tower card. Sometimes there's an upset, so that the resolution is actually preferable to what the previous state of arrangements actually was. The talent triangle involving Mars, Neptune and Jupiter brings quite a forceful sort of energy. Neptune's very spiritual, to do with your friends, groups and connections, but also your hopes and dreams. And Jupiter is in your 12th house here, and it's conjunct Uranus. So you've got the T-square with Uranus, bringing a lot of volatility, unpredictable sort of things coming out of your subconscious. Maybe you're having sort of flashes, psychic flashes, for example, and they're unpredictable, and you never know what you're going to see or feel or pick up. And then the talent triangle also has Jupiter conjunct Uranus, whereas the T-square has Uranus conjunct Jupiter. But it means the same thing in effect, that it's a big, huge, unpredictable force that is deep down in your subconscious. The thing with the talent triangle is that, yes, two semi-squares and a square, yes, it's challenging again, but it brings your talents to the fore. It shows you what your actual talents are and what your abilities are. So you might be quite surprised with how you handle matters. The third triplicity here, or even the fourth quadrant, you could be rather concerned with what is going on in the collective. Large groups of people, countries, companies, and it's not all about you, but how you fit into the world and how you fit into society. And that might give you a lot of energy for wanting to know more about the world, and you do have a lot happening here in your 9th house of the higher mind. So the world is a very big place, and you want your share in March, which is fair enough. The new moon is in Pisces on the 10th of March, and this is going to bring new beginnings around your career, your social status, how you appear online, for example. So you might have some sort of new project that you want to adopt, for example. It's also to do with authority figures, and it could renew a relationship with some sort of authority figure, a parent, an employer, somebody that you look up to, perhaps. There's also the lunar eclipse on the 23rd, and this is in Libra down here. So there's a shake-up regarding your creativity. It's also romance and the inner world of the child, or your inner child, that who you were when you were growing up. So you might be having a lot of flashes and information come up about your childhood that may reflect here in the tower. You might actually think of an event and understand for the first time how the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle fit together, why something happened the way it did. And I actually just had that in an event that happened when I was little, and it just dawned on me a few days ago how that situation came about. And I was like, why didn't I see it before? It's going to be conjunct, because it'll be here in this house for 2.5 to 3.5 days. It's going to be conjunct the South Node during that time, and part of your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to work out, do you do the same old, same old? Are you dealing with the situation using the same patterns of behaviour that you always have? Or are you looking towards the future and your destiny to see if there's new ways that you can actually deal with the situation rather than falling back just on your experience? See, you've got your North Node is conjunct Chiron here in your house of hopes and dreams, but also friends, groups and associates. So your destiny is healing. There's a healing force as indicated by this card. Chiron is the wounded healer, and it is conjunct your destiny. So you may find that you have to go through something in order to get to something even deeper and more important, so that it can be healed. So you have some sort of trigger that propels you into your subconscious, and then you find the truth and you set about healing yourself there. So I think that's wonderful, and that's ultimately good news. The planet Mercury is in Aries on the 9th, up here, and so it jumps into there. It's been conjunct the sun, so you've been getting a lot of info previously, but it goes into Aries, and this is also bringing a lot of communications with your friends, groups and associates. The sun then goes into this house as well, bringing insight and awareness and even some comfort and stability through your friends and the people, but also around your hopes and dreams. You may have some intuition or some insight into your hopes and dreams and ways that you can accomplish your hopes and dreams. Venus goes into Pisces here, bringing a beautiful, smooth flowing energy around your career or your public life, your online life, reputation, and dealings with authority figures. And also you could meet a beautiful person through your career or through an authority figure. Beautiful people could come into your life due to Venus here. And Venus in Pisces, they're likely to be beautiful not only on the outside but on the inside even more importantly. That's on the 11th of the month. Mars goes into Pisces on the 22nd of the month. Not entirely comfortable there. Mars is more gung-ho, doesn't really want to go with the spiritual kind of vibe. It can feel a bit frustrated, it wants to do things, but it's like held up in this spiritual sort of energy, and so you may just be thinking about doing something new. But it is in your career. I want to say it's authorities like parents, but I also want to say like grandparents or people in your family that are like authority figures. So it's not just limited to parents. Traditionally, this house was associated with the mother, but today everybody has to do all sorts of things and play all different roles. So I wouldn't just say the mother, I would say the father as well. We also have the autumnal equinox on the 21st if you're in Australia and New Zealand, saying prepare for winter, get organised, go around and finish all those little things that at the end of the summer you need to finish up, and start maybe baking, freezing, harvesting things, fruits that you can freeze and all that sort of stuff. Get your paperwork up to date. But if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's the spring equinox. And this is about planting seeds for the future, seeds in your garden, but also in yourself, so that you can harvest those energies later down the track. And of course, the equinoxes are about balance, finding balance between your daytime activities and your nighttime activities. It means that the day and the night are of equal length, equally important, the male and the female, the opposites coming together. It's Easter Sunday on the 31st, regardless of what religion you are. If you have a religion, not everybody does. It is spiritually symbolic of rebirth and renewal. You could find yourself starting a new chapter in your book of life, and there's some sort of transformation associated with that. Perhaps you've had to sacrifice something, and now that sacrifice is over and a new chapter begins in your life finally. So it's good news. So that's it, gorgeous Geminis. I hope this is useful for you. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and a comment, that would be appreciated. But most importantly, have a wonderful month. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now.